I watched Argylle, so let's talk about it. Matthew Vaughn, who did Kingsman, is the director of this movie, and it is starring a huge cast from Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, and Henry Cavill, and a bunch more. This movie, if you're expecting a lot of Henry Cavill, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. I'm sorry. I know some people probably watched the trailer and thought that he would be the main star. And from this picture over here of the poster, he is front and center, but he is not the star. The two stars are Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell. This movie follows a reclusive author played by Bryce Dallas Howard who writes espionage novels about a secret agent who is Argylle. And a global spy syndicate realizes the plot of the new book she writes is actually mirroring real life events. So in comes Sam Rockwell, who is there to guide her through all of the chaos. I was pleasantly surprised with Bryce Dallas Howard. I have seen her in other movies and in serious roles, and I think she's a really good actress, but I wasn't sure how she would do in a comedy/action film, and I really enjoyed her performance, and I really loved her chemistry with Sam Rockwell. I absolutely adore Sam Rockwell, so seeing him in any lead always makes me happy. I love the contrast between his character and Argylle's character with a real spy and the one that she's created, and how they kind of had completely different ways of going about things. One was more sophisticated, the other one was just kind of going with the flow, and I feel like he portrayed that really well. I was also really pleasantly surprised with Catherine O'Hara's character. I feel like I always see her in the same types of roles, and in this movie, she surprised me. And I thought that she played it in a really fun way. I think you could tell that everyone on the cast enjoyed making this movie, and you felt that when they were present on the screen. If you've ever watched a Matthew Vaughn movie, especially a movie like Kingsman, it's not realistic and it's super off the wall, crazy. And that's what this movie is. If you're expecting something that has real spies or maybe something that's a little more serious, that ain't this film. But this film is super fun and chaotic and out there at times. And I always like when there are different creative ways to tell a spy story. And I feel like they kind of did that with the style of the cuts in between characters. And I also like the fact that there's like a story within a story, which revolves around two different worlds and then they're kind of merging. I think that that's always fun when you can do that right. But do I think they did this right? No. Overall, I think the biggest gripe that I had with this movie is that it didn't really know exactly where it was going. I felt like it was kind of jarring the way that it was telling the story. While I liked the style of it and I liked what they were trying to do, I don't think it quite hit. It's funny because as I was watching this movie, I thought of a bunch of different movies that are all completely different from each other, and it was following that structure for a while, and then it moved on to another structure and then another one. I also feel like the rating of the movie might have caused this because it is PG-13, and I think had it been rated R, it might have been a little bit different and probably better. However, it was still really engaging and entertaining, and it had a lot of fun twists that I quite enjoyed. And another thing that I feel like I keep saying with every movie that I've done lately is that it's just a little bit too long. The end felt way too drawn out, and I feel like it was kind of losing its momentum. And unfortunately, the last thing that I will mention is the CGI was not good. There were some moments that it just looked very cheap. And I understand that this film was filmed probably during COVID and, they had restrictions and things like that. But it was a huge budget, and the industry needs to learn how to pay their people and give them enough time to make cool CGI, because it is possible, and we know that it is. But unfortunately, this film had really bad CGI. So the big question is, should you go see this movie in theaters? I think that if you don't have high expectations and you just want a fun, mindless movie that's, super chaotic and about spies, go see it. I think it's really fun. But if you're expecting something that's a little more serious or maybe more grounded, this probably isn't the movie for you. However, I do think that it is a fun movie to watch, so maybe if you don't see it in theaters, definitely check it out on streaming. So that's my review of Argylle. If you've seen it, I'd love to know your thoughts, and if you like this content, I keep posting them, so why not subscribe? All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye!